Right now, officials in Sauk County have identified the man and woman found dead inside their home. The latest details on that investigation. Plus, city leaders are participating in Bike Week, what they say needs to be done to help get cyclists to work, to school, and to shops more easily.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon. I'm Danica Lewis in for Mark Kane. Thank you so much for joining us. Started out as a cooler morning, but the sun is coming out. Let's head right over to the Weather Center where meteorologist Chris Reese has the look at your forecast. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Danica. Things are still fairly pleasant out there right now. Maybe a little bit cooler, but hey, we're talking temperatures that are in the 60s for a lot of folks. Some 50s showing up closer towards the lakeshore, but Mineral Point already at 68. Black River Falls at 67. So things are generally warmer in the west. Notice what's going on right over Lake Michigan and the direction of the wind flow, kind of in this clockwise direction. They start out flowing kind of easterly and then moving more so northerly in time. That's a region of high pressure that is sitting right over the lake. And not only is it keeping those temperatures a little bit cooler towards the lake, with the lake breeze coming off, it is also keeping some of that sunshine around. A little milky out there, but the sun is definitely out. It's going to be staying out. Winds here in Madison are coming out of the south at 10 miles per hour with that temperature of 61. We push this forward through the next 12 hours. Expect those temperatures to perhaps take a little bit of a jump into the 70s. We'll stay comfortable through the afternoon and evening before falling back into the mid 50s overnight. There will be a little overnight chance of showers and thunderstorms as well. We'll talk about that in Maine weather, Danica.
But that's the way to start the week there, Chris.
Yes, it is. And I think a lot of folks are going to be happy with the forecast overall, too.
Excellent. Looking forward to that. Thank you so much. So we do have new information about the two people found dead in a Sauk Prairie home over the weekend. Police have identified those two individuals as 88-year-old Margaret Fass and 63-year-old David Fass. Both lived at the home just off Highway 12 on Monroe Street. Officers were originally called to the home for a welfare check after neighbors reported they had not seen or heard from those residents in about a week. The deaths are still under investigation. Autopsies are scheduled for tomorrow. Police say a Madison man is suspected of stealing 3 laptop computers from an ambulance company. Officials say an officer identified 54-year-old Daryl Pierce as that suspect after reviewing surveillance footage. The video showed him leaving Ryan Brothers Ambulance Company on South Park Street Saturday morning. The laptops weren't found immediately. In Virginia Beach today, people are wearing blue as a way to remember the 12 people killed in a mass shooting last week. There's a memorial growing close to the municipal building where the massacre took place, with a cross for each victim. That includes a local contractor and 11 city employees. One survivor says his colleague and friend, Keith Cox, may have saved 7 lives before he was killed. He directed the group to hide inside an office.
We ran in there and I turned and I said, come on. And he said, I'm going to go check on other people. Barricade yourself in.
Investigators are trying to determine a motive for this shooting. The suspect died after a shootout with police. Hours before the shooting, that 40-year-old emailed a resignation note to his manager. He had worked for the city for about 15 years and had a clean record. The president is in London this afternoon, marking only the 3rd time Queen Elizabeth has welcomed an American president for a state visit. Only Barack Obama in 2011 and George W. Bush in 2003 have received the coveted invitations. Today, President Trump and First Lady Melania were welcomed to Buckingham Palace. The 3-day lavish affair started with a traditional gun salute at London landmarks. After a private lunch with the Queen and tea with future King Prince Charles, the president and First Lady toured a special exhibition of gifts that British monarchs and U.S. presidents have exchanged over the years. Tonight, President Trump will give a speech at an elegant state banquet. Back in Madison, the search is on for whoever stole a diamond over the weekend. A puppy named Diamond, that is. Her owners say Diamond was stolen on Saturday afternoon from an outdoor kennel on Sunfish Court off Post Road near Aldo Leopold Park. Diamond is an American Pit Bull Terrier, several months old. You can see a picture of her there. Anyone with information is asked to call Madison Crime Stoppers. A Menasha Fire Department is helping the family of a fallen Appleton firefighter today. Harrison Fire Rescue presented a $10,000 check to the Appleton Fire Department to go to Mitch Lundgaard's family. Now, you may remember Lundgaard was fatally shot while responding to a medical call last month. The fire department raised the money at its annual brat fry held a couple weeks ago. They said the fundraiser usually brings in $1,000. This time, it raised 10 times that in honor of Lundgaard. Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes-Conway and a group of alders are all celebrating Bike Week today. They rode to a press conference this morning at the Madison Municipal Building. The city has been recognized as one of the most bike-friendly cities in the country multiple times. More than 5% of residents actually do bike to work. There are several path expansion projects in the works, plus wayfinding and signage improvements. The city is also adding green street markings to bike lanes, but city leaders say still more needs to be done.
As we grow, we're projected to get 45,000 more jobs between now and 2050, over 100,000 more residents. And we can't really address those transportation needs with motor vehicles. We just don't have any more capacity on our arterials. So we need to switch to other modes, which includes transit, but also includes bike.
Mayor Satya Rhodes-Conway says she is excited about a downtown bike center that will be added to Judge Doyle Square. That project there that will include a bike wash, bike shop, and community classes. For more information on this Bike Week and upcoming events like maintenance stops and community rides, you can go to madisonbikes.org/Bike Week. There is more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, let's see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
It's June and summer is right around the corner. It also happens to be National Dairy Month. So join us as we whip up a recipe that's packed with all sorts of goodness right from the dairy case. It's June, and you know what that means? It's National Dairy Month. A whole month to explore all the new items in the dairy case and to take advantage of the sales. Years ago, Dairy Month was created as a way to promote drinking more milk during the summer. But as times have changed, so is the focus of this celebration. Today, we're excited about all the new items that round out this aisle. And I want to thank all the hardworking dairy farmers behind many of our favorite products. When it comes to milk, there's everything from whole, skim, and lactose-free varieties to nut, soy, and oat grain options. And don't forget the selection of coffee creamers and juices that are usually right next to them. For cheese lovers, whether you like it sliced, shredded, or in a block, there's plenty of options. And right next to the butter, dips, and other dairy basics, you can't miss the endless variety of yogurts. There's more to this aisle than ever before. You'll find refrigerated, ready-to-use potatoes, along with whole, pasteurized, and even hard-boiled eggs. And that's just the beginning. So to celebrate, I'm sharing a recipe that uses many of our dairy aisle favorites. It's a throw-together cheesy-packed deli salad that's simply amazing. To get the recipe for our creamy, dreamy potato salad, simply visit our website. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a deliciously dairy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Maybe you want to take your potato salad or whatever else you have outside for lunch today. A beautiful afternoon. Highs could reach the mid-70s once that sun does come out. A little cloudy right now. It could all change, though, as soon as tonight. Meteorologist Chris Reese shares when we should expect some showers coming up in your First Alert forecast.
After
Welcome back. Our call for action phone bank is open right now, ready to take your consumer issues and problems. All those calls, you can just give a call to our hotline and volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. That number is 608-270-2833. Remember, this is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Take a look at the stock market report right now at this noon hour. We are down a bit. The Dow down about 42 points right now. NASDAQ down about 104 points. And the S&P 500 down almost 12 points. Let's turn it over now to Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee. Pam, it's good to see you. How you been?
Hey, yeah, same here. Good to see you, Danica, and happy National Dairy Month. We're just getting started. Glad that Howard paid a little homage to our dairy farmers, but I don't think that he needs to include almond milk and all the rest of the other beverages in the same sentence with our hardworking dairy farmers. I think they might bristle at that. But still, we're off and running as far as dairy celebrations are concerned. I look forward to seeing you this Saturday. We'll be at the Dane County Breakfast on the Farm down in Brooklyn. Klondike Dairy is going to be your host. As a matter of fact, I'm headed that direction myself after we get done with the noon show. So I'll have more on the farm and the family for you tomorrow. So let's talk a little bit about what's in the markets and what they're talking about. This afternoon at 3 o'clock Wisconsin time, we are going to get our latest planting progress report. Now, there's several different analyst firms that are out with their estimates before the federal government gives us numbers. They believe that by the time we get to the report, 65 to 70% of the U.S. corn will be planted. About 40% of the U.S. soybeans will be in the ground. Now, both those numbers lag way behind where we'd normally be for the 3rd of June. Big concern right now is if those numbers are correct or they come in even smaller than that, we are off to the slowest start on planting since we started keeping records. Last time that we were this slow would have been back in 1995. So, like I said, got to be mindful of that. But I am so happy that Chris has got a warmer, drier forecast in store for most of us this week. That is actually the news that's kind of hitting the market now. This morning we were trading higher corn, beans, and wheat. Now on the midday, I see that corn is now down about 2 cents and soybeans are down about 1.50 cents. The wheat market also currently under a little pressure. So everybody's starting to waffle on their numbers. Today, barrel cheese in Chicago dropped 2.5 cents to 151.5. 40-pound block cheese up 0.5 cent at 172. The AA butter finishes on Monday down a penny at 2.35 a pound. So like I said, Danica, everybody's waiting and watching that weather forecast, including our Wisconsin farmers, and we'll figure out how much work they got done over the weekend. I know that if you've been out on rural roadways around the state, there is any number of different pieces of farm equipment moving. We're planting corn, we're spreading manure, and we're also cutting hay all at the same time. So be careful if you're out on rural roadways. Please be patient.
Well, Mother Nature has given you guys no choice but to work quickly, right?
That's right. Yes, indeed. Very true.
Yeah, double, triple task. Well, it's good to see you, Pam.
Same here, kid.
Take it easy. All right, just speaking of that forecast, let's turn it over to Chris Reese now with a look at your first alert weather here. Chris, how's it going?
It's going pretty well out there right now. High pressure and control that's keeping the weather quiet for us. It's also keeping things a little bit cooler right along the lakeshore. Notice 50s and 60s, low 60s that is showing up from Manitowoc all the way down towards Kenosha with the winds coming off the lake. They start to become a little bit more southerly as we work our way towards the west. That's where temperatures are warmer. 68 degrees in Mineral Point, and then 70 starting to show up across parts of Iowa and Minnesota. Now, as we pass forward through the rest of today, we're going to see our temperatures gradually warm up as a southerly wind takes over. Already, we're seeing those winds out of the south at 10 miles per hour in Madison, and of course, our temperature is 61 right now, too. Mostly clear out there. There is haze still on the horizon, so we have a little bit of a milky sky. There's also a little bit of cloud cover trying to get into the mix. We'll see some additional cloud cover later on tonight, but high-resolution Doppler is clear of showers and thunderstorms for us right now here in Madison, but we are watching what's moving out of Omaha and into parts of western Iowa as we speak, moving right along Interstate 80. This is all a part of the complex of systems that will bring us a chance to rain as we go into the overnight hours. A warm front begins to lift towards the north. That southerly wind continues to take over. We'll see that chance of rain overnight. A lot of that will likely be south and west of Madison. As that lifts towards the north, we'll get in on some warmer temperatures tomorrow. Then a cold front starts to push southward overnight into Wednesday morning. That's when I think there will be a little bit of a better chance for some showers and thunderstorms. Check what's behind it, though. High pressure, folks. So that is going to eventually mean more sunshine. Let's time out the rest of this afternoon for you. 75 with the southerly wind by about 4:30. Notice the cloud cover starting to increase across the south and west. Midnight. we're still dry. A lot of folks are going to go to bed without the rain today. Those shower chances down towards the south and west overnight and into tomorrow morning. So we may see some more cloud cover as you work your way into Tuesday. Highs right around 78 to 80. Tuesday night into Wednesday, pay attention to the north and west. That's when that cold front begins to push on through. We will see those chances for showers and thunderstorms in the early morning hours of Wednesday. High pressure takes over from that point, and we are going to stay dry likely through the end of the week. We're watching this weekend system, though, and how far north that can trend. Right now, we do have a slight chance of rain further south, but if that trends further towards the north, we might have to creep in some rain chances for your weekend forecast. I'm hoping that we can keep that dry for you guys and just leave it at a slight chance for now. Maybe we'll stay sunny and 75. Fingers crossed on that one. In the meantime, though, this is still one of the drier forecasts we have had in a very long time. A lot of these rain chances, Danica, are going to come overnight, and they're slight. So they're not huge washout rain chances at all, which is good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need that.
We definitely need it.
The farmers need it. I saw a video that made me laugh. Pam made me think of this one, but it was a tornado, and there was a farmer out plowing his field in the middle of the tornado, and it's just like, yep, when it's time, it's time.
Yeah.
They're trying to get it done.
It's sad, though, that they just have to, they feel the pressure
I know,
right now.
absolutely. So
yeah.
fingers crossed that Mother Nature is on our side.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank you, Chris.
My pleasure.
So next at noon, Linda Barks is here to answer your plant questions. Another lady hoping for some drier weather. The number to call, 270-9933. Stay with us. Join Welcome back. Linda Barks is here from the Bruce Company today, answering your plant and gardening questions. The number again, 270-9933. Thanks for joining us. Always good to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's go ahead and get right to it. Joanne from Wanakee is on the lines. Joanne, how you doing?
Not too bad.
Good, good. What's your question?
My question is about white flies on my hibiscus that were there all winter in the house, and I kept spraying them with soapy water, and they still kept coming. I've moved it out on my front porch, and they're still out there. And they are, I think, spreading to either my orange tree plant that I have out there and possibly my geraniums.
Unless you're really attached to the hibiscus, I would either change to a different chemical control for whitefly, because that's a hard one to get rid of. When greenhouses have whitefly problems, sometimes things get tossed. If we get plants in from a supplier, we throw them away because they have lots of eggs that are going to keep hatching. So if it's not valuable to you, get rid of it, or at least isolate it from all of your other plants. It doesn't spread to everything, but it's a nasty infestation.
And we want to make sure that we get to the Joanne. Thank you for your question. What did you bring here today, just to make sure we get to that?
Well, I did bring a series of plants that, if you like this little airy, frosty euphorbia, make sure you look at this little label, because there's one called Mountain that gets 24 to 36 inches, one that stays 12 to 18, and then there's a little short guy, 10 to 12. So they look very similar, but check the label.
Got to check that label. Got to do it. All right, let's go to our next caller. This one is John from Mount Horeb. John, can you hear us? John, can you hear us okay?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, what's your question?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. I've got a 3 to 4 foot little palm that we have in our entryway. That gets a pretty good amount of light, and it seems to be getting new shoots periodically, but I've recently noticed the very tips of it are getting kind of dried out on the, on the palms themselves. And then when I look closer, I see these little bumps over quite a bit of the plant, and then like there's little sticky spots.
Yes, what that is scale. Wow, we are just going to do the gamut of difficult to control insects today. Scale is a little brown bump. After what that does is it has little babies that crawl around and find a really good spot to feed. Then they attach their mouth parts, build up this waxy coating, and they're very difficult to control. Again, that might be one that either you have to use a systemic and spray at the same time to control those crawlers and repeat in 2 weeks, or just toss it out if it's not real valuable and start over.
We're tossing a lot of plants today, aren't we?
those are probably two of the most difficult insects to control. It's better that it's summer, so we can move it outside and try to do it. And if they survive through the summer and it looks good, you can bring it back in, but keep your eye on it, because when you bring it back in the house, things emerge again sometimes.
Absolutely.
Right, what do you spray it with? I'm sorry.
Well, I would suggest that you use a systemic, which is something that you would put in the soil itself. And then actually, if you're spraying to control the crawlers, something as simple as neem oil would be an option. But come into the garden center at Bruce Company, tell them what you have, and they'll give you some suggestions.
Linda, thank you for joining us. And all of you who are calling, we had 2 very difficult calls today, so stay on the line and make sure to get your questions answered. Let's get one more check of that forecast here with Chris Reese. Hi, Chris.
Hello, guys. We're seeing that sunshine continue going through at least the afternoon. Some clouds will start to move in later on this evening. Rain chances southwest overnight, but we may see some additional rain chances early on Tuesday and then again into Wednesday. So we're going to watch it, but it's a drier forecast overall.
All right. Thank you, Chris. And we'll see you back here for Live at 4. Have a good afternoon.